My name is Keith Buckley. I am the head coach of Rollins College here in Winter Park, Florida. I've been coaching since 1991, and I want to give you a presentation of what we feel is important to be a successful college player and the pathway to get to that place. So basically we're going to go through some areas that you can improve yourself individually and some of the rules and regulations. The reason why college soccer, we talk about men's, right? We only talk about men's, we're not talking about women's here, so about men's. College soccer is more competitive than ever because it's global. So back in the day when I came, very few internationals, those that came knew someone and was able to come over and play. Now, getting a college scholarship in the United States is known in virtually every country that has developed leagues. So you're not only competing against each other, you're only competing against people from other states, now you're competing against players from different countries. And then just to make it even more difficult is that the education systems are different in different countries. So in the United States, generally, we graduate when we're 18 and our freshman year is 19. That's not the case in Germany, in Iceland, Argentina. Generally, it's a later birthday. So not only are you competing against 19-year-olds, now you're competing against 21 and 22-year-olds. So it is extremely competitive. However, you can only control what you can control. So what can you control? How hard you practice, how hard you play, what you eat, what you don't eat, what you drink, what you don't drink, how much sleep you get, and mentally putting yourself in the best possible frame of mind to compete. Then you have NIA, we have Weber that's local here, definitely some more schools in the Midwest. And then you have obviously the junior college route, which you play for 2 years, Eastern Florida and Daytona East, where you can play for 2 years and then coaches get to see it. So most of you have done this, all right? You start with the youth at your high school, club soccer, and then you get to do the whole campus visit and everything else, which is what you're doing right now. This obviously gives you the foundation. High school gets a bad rap, all right? Probably some of you play for clubs that say don't play for high school. If you think you're going to be on the US under-17 national team, don't play high school. If you think you're going to be at the academy at Orlando City or into Miami and play on their under-18 team and be in the top 4 or 5 best players, don't play high school. You're projected to be on a professional career. If you're not going to play professional, you might as well enjoy your high school experience. Play for a good club, get the training, get the competition, but this is a really good experience for you. This is how you train like a college player. You set daily and weekly goals. Not, probably time to get fit now. Probably time to do a bit of running. You need to figure out, okay, you're starting here with basically July 1st. You've got about a 10-month season, maybe 11-month season. It's gonna end in the middle of May. What are your daily, weekly, monthly goals? Make your club team. Start on your club team. Score more goals, make more assists, make more saves. Whatever it is, you have to set your goals. Technical training. Basically, by the time you get to college, we are biased that say, Hayden, it's pretty much done from a technical standpoint. How he plays with his right foot, how he plays with his left foot, his first touch, his ability to receive the ball out of pressure. We pretty much think by 18, 19, you're done. So your technical training is incredibly important. Tactical film study is interesting. Right? Some clubs do it, some high schools do it. I think you just need to watch good games, good players play. Sometimes the commentators talk a load of crap, but watch the game and try and understand it from a tactical perspective. Not just, oh, wow, that was good. Think about how they're building up. Do they play through the lines? Do they play wide? How do they use their centre forward? Do they have two centre forwards? Do they play with a back three? Do they play with a back four? Do they push high or do they sit back? Or like the very best teams, they'll do all of that in one game. Strength and conditioning. All of you have heard people talk about it. I would say virtually every freshman that comes to Rollins is underprepared in strength and conditioning. Underprepared. Yes, the best players take care of their bodies. The best players do weights. The best players run, and the best players run hard. I think that's a skill in itself, is running hard. There's running, and then there's running. Really running. And being so underwhelmed with the breathing, but you can still get it done. This is extremely important. And there are strength and conditioning programs that you can pay for, and there's strength and conditioning programs you can get online for next to nothing. The problem is that you have to do it. Most clubs now do a strength and training programming where you go once a week, they'll go there and they'll have somebody from like Spectrum, where Evan works, and they'll do a 45-minute session for you. It's show and tell. That's not going to help you. Yeah, it gives you some ideas, it will give you some tools, but the best players are doing this, daily, weekly, monthly. It's really important. You do it 4 or 5 times. You probably all have access to some sort of gym. If you don't, you can be creative. You all have a road you can run on, and it is extremely, it's going to make a difference between you getting on the team and being number 27. All of this, right? Well, that's what we're looking for. Technical ability, tactical understanding, physical readiness, right? This will be the perfect player. Is every player perfect? Right? If we were going to critically and analyze Hayden, he could probably say most of these things he's probably ticking, and some of them he's a little bit under on. However, the more you have of these, the more like the coach is going to trust you. That's the bottom line. Does the coach trust you? If he is, he's more likely to play. If he doesn't trust you, you're more likely to come off the bench, or you're more likely to say, okay, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to move on. Because one of the problems with college is, right, you come in as a freshman and you're kind of getting into it. The next year there's 8 new freshmen come in, and they're coming in to take players' places. Right? It's the difference between college and club. Club, your parents pay the money, you kind of get some playing time, right? You kind of have a squad of 18, and everybody gets a little bit of playing time, some a little bit more than others. In college, you get as much playing time as you deserve. So basic recruiting timeline. Everybody here, assuming that you want to play college, you have to register with the NCAA. Sophomore year, coaches can start communicating with you. Then you start attending camps and showcases, and hopefully the senior year you make a decision. If we were doing a women's camp, this timeline is totally different. The men's is much later. Women, if any female players, they're probably making their commitments here. You guys, it's going to be in this area here, because there's so many more players available. More players and less scholarships. So coaches can wait. Obviously, if you play on the youth national team, they're going to want to get you if you're a sophomore. If you are a good club player, there's lots of good club players, so they are going to wait. So you are going to have to put the time in, make the communications, and I'm telling you, college coaches are inundated with emails. Somehow you're going to have to be a little bit creative. We get too many. This is Rollins College. We have 2,000 students here. We get too many emails, it's just overwhelming. I have no idea what Clemson and Duke and UCF get. Because obviously with the technology, it's really easy to whack out 300 emails. So, we probably get 15 to 20 a day. So that's what you're competing against. How do you build your resume? All right, the highlight video. People are getting better at this. When they first started coming out, it was about 20 minutes, and every rap song you could possibly hear was on full volume, and it didn't work very well. Keep it concise, show your strengths. There's no excuse not to have good quality. No excuse. Just with a phone, you can have someone watch a game, but most of you, I think, have games that are recorded, either a video or something where you can take down some of the highlights. If you're on a club team where everybody's paying, then maybe it would be worth you paying a photographer to come and video and make it a high level picture, so you could do that. Maybe it costs you, as a team, you know, $200 or $300. You bring the photographer, he videos the game, and then you're able to cut and slice it. Academic profile. So virtually every school is going to ask you for GPA, SAT. Yes, they don't. You don't have to have an SAT anymore, but the best schools give academic scholarships based on SAT. And again, unless you're that good that you're going to get a full scholarship, most coaches are trying to package. And if you are going to a Power 5 Division 1, they're still going to want you to have the grades, right, to make sure they're eligible to play. You know, generally speaking now, I think academics has increased. Most players seem to have an understanding that they have to have a basic academic foundation. Online presence, we should all know now, what you post should be appropriate for grammar. Right? If you don't, then it's your reputation will go very quickly, and there's too many players to choose from. Yeah, you can post about your teams, you can post about whatever you know, but make sure, all right, you just stay away from anything that's going to cause retribution down the road. All right, and I think everybody should be able to has figured that out by now. Coach communication. Somehow you've got to get your face in front of them. Right? So you come to a camp like this. This is great. You get to see the school, you get to see the coaches, you get to see the players, and maybe this school's for you, maybe this school's not for you, but you might get a bigger school, you're a smaller school, or a different location, or whatever. But you have to communicate with the coach. Just understand that he, every day, is getting emails. Something has to stand out for them to be in communication with you. Now, if you're scoring a goal a game, they're probably going to be talking to you. If you're saving penalties, they're probably going to be talking to you. Most of us are in the middle of all that. All right? Most of us are not number 9s or number 1s, so you have to be very proactive of reaching out to the coaches. So, the email, your resume, the video, you follow up. You don't know ChatGPT, get to know ChatGPT. This is how you can do that without plagiarizing, without getting any teacher upset. All right, you can craft the email, you build your resume. It can even evaluate your highlight video, and then your following up is all about you. But use all possible tools to contact the coach in the right way. Because in today's world, if you start making spelling mistakes, and if you start addressing emails to me, to the Tampa coach, which happens all the time, right? It just gets deleted very quickly. Any excuse to delete an email. So you have to spell the coach's name right. You have to know which college you're talking to about, you know, and you just have to make sure it looks clean, professional, and like you want to go to that school, and not because your parents have told you to write off a bunch of emails to coaches. So you're looking at Rollins, the academic resources. It's a small liberal arts school. It believes in small classes. It believes in presentations, creative writing, critical writing, right? And you have to be present, right? So if you don't show up for class, you're not going to get a very good grade. Florida State, right? When my daughter went, they have classes of 500 students. If you don't show up, no one's going to care. But it's a much more impersonal communication and academic situation. So you've got to figure out what type of academic school you want to go to. If you're from Florida, right, you could do your Bright Futures. It becomes much more affordable to go to a state school. How's your phone? All right. This is what is really important. Academics, finances. Rollins College is $83,000. It's a lot of money. However, that's where your academics come in, that's where financial aid comes in, that's where athletic aid comes in. UCF, Florida State, Florida is much cheaper. So you've got to figure out what are your educational goals, financial goals, and how can you put it all together. Camps and showcases, exposure versus development, pick the right ones. There are so many ID camps, there are so many college camps, and there are so many showcases. And you only have so much money and so much time. So you have to start being, obviously it's easy if you're local to go to a local camp. As you get into your sophomore, junior year, and you want to, or you're thinking of moving out of state, going to a camp like this is a very good idea for you to see what it's all about. But don't go to 6, 7, 8 of these camps. They're too expensive. Just go to 1 or 2 where the school is most likely to fit your academic and supplements. Showcases, again, it's different in women's game, men's game. You go to a women's showcase, the coaches are lined up around the fields because there's fewer players, more scholarships. In the men's game, we all use YouTube, we all get videos, we're all getting clips. There's so many showcases, we all have limited budgets. So you're not going to see as many coaches at these showcases. We're going to give you a pamphlet that's going to give you some ideas on nutrition. I'm looking at everybody in this room. Everybody probably goes to decent schools. Everybody has definitely got parents that are committed then to pay for this. You're getting good nutritional information. You just got to use it. And it's all about common sense. You're 16, 17, 18, you've got big appetites, you're eating a lot. That's fantastic. Keep eating, but eat well. And it's all about common sense. Don't worry about the freak diets. Don't listen to all these supplemental pills that you need to take. You don't. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe another meal in between of that, and you just hit your protein, you hit your carbs, you hit your nutrients, you hit your minerals and vitamins. You're fine. You're good to go. Right? You don't need an expensive or this crazy diet that you hear people talking about. Common sense. What you drink is incredibly important. Gatorade's all right. One Gatorade after a game, you do not need to be drinking loads of Gatorades. If you're drinking Cokes and Sprites, you've missed the memo. No reason to be doing that. Water. Hydrate. Especially if you're in a climate like this, you have to be drinking your water, excessive amounts. All right, so again, the nutrition is very important, and then this is something else that is very undervalued. Rest and recovery. And this thing, I think now at the highest level, they understand the importance of sleep. They're even building in these academies at Manchester City and Real Madrid, areas where players can sleep, and sleep in a way they can get a good night's sleep, right? With no distractions. And then how you recover is again very important. Now that's hard when you're playing high school and you're playing club and you play some of these tournaments and you play Friday night, 2 games on Saturday, you make the semi-final on Sunday and the final on Sunday afternoon. So you're playing like 4 or 5 games in the space of 2.5 days. But that's the world we live in. So then everything else becomes really important. So the basic conditioning. So what's going to happen today is that Evan's going to give you the same fitness test that we give our players. And it will be compared to the tests from the players from last year. Now, we've got 14 and 15-year-olds here, yeah? That's just going to be a baseline for you guys, right? The expectation is that you'll be stronger, fitter when you get to 17, 18. If you're 17 or 18, you're going to have to be relatively close. Because the problem with the college season is it's a sprint. So everybody gets in about August 15th, and our first game is September 4th. So especially virtually everywhere in the country is hot in August. So coaches are going to go, again, you're scoring goals or you're saving goals, they'll kind of give you a break. Everybody else, he's not fit enough. Okay, well, let's bring in someone that's fit enough. It's that quick. So and again, you control this. You control your strength and conditioning. Mental strength matters. Yes, it does. I think this is a really difficult thing to coach and teach. I think some of this is innate, but you have to work on it. How do you develop resilience? It's hard, right? But there's little things that you can do. Luke Bowden, the assistant coach that you saw last night, he has brought to this program how the term react. And we have a player, Pedro's at number 10, is the classic. He's half Brazilian, and he kind of just went through high school, and he was a good player. But if he lost the ball, he was fine, because he thought he was Cristiano. Gets to college, and all of a sudden he's losing the ball, not getting it back, and now he's sitting on the bench. And Luke's all about react. So we use video. So Pedro loses the ball, throws the hands up. It's not a good look. Pedro has changed. Over freshman, sophomore and junior year, now he's one of our most effective players without the ball. Very good with the ball, always was good with the ball, because of his reactions when he makes mistakes. So most creative players make mistakes all the time. Right? That's what they do. They're trying to make the great pass, the great shot, whatever. So they're going to make mistakes. How do you react? So you could create your mental strength just through practice and games. And we all come from different backgrounds, right? But you can develop your resilience to when things don't go quite right. Right? The coach pulls you out, says you're not trying hard enough, and you think you're just busting everything. Coach doesn't play you. Why? I'm better than him. I train better than him. And the coach just says, I prefer him. And how do you react to that? Do you sulk in practice? Or do you say, no, I'm just going to show everybody that I'm better than him at practice? So you can improve your mental strength in small ways. It's unbelievable how many players tell me they want to be a college player, and I'm like, well, what was the last game you saw? You mean? Yeah, I saw a bit online. You have to watch the game. If you want to be in college, you have to watch college games. We all watch the pro games, but the pro games aren't like college games. It's really important that you watch as many games, watch a Division 2, watch a Division 1, see how the substitutions, because the rules are a little bit different, see how the physical elements of the players are, right? Identify players. Okay, so when you go to these camps, maybe you see a player, right? So you've got Hayden, he's a defender, he's someone that gives us 8 out of 10 all the time. Okay, we always depended on Hayden. We know what we're getting. Justin, now Justin can be a 9 or a 3. Right? We don't trust Justin, but he can be a match winner. Right? So which player are you? If you're going to be a match winner, you better win some matches. If you're going to be dependable and keep giving consistent performances, then the coaches and the teammates trust the player. So then you just become a constant in that team. Right? We're all different. Yeah? Some of us make the piano, some of us play the piano. So the old lie. Right? But you need to figure out what's your role models. And then try and analyze game film. And again, the technology is there for you to do it, to get a better appreciation of tactics. Because the higher level you play, the more the tactics are fluid. The teams change formations very quickly. In fact, the very best teams, players will do that on the field without any coach instruction. All right, and I said this into our introduction when we started the camp, practice with purpose. Right? You have to practice hard. You have to run hard. Right? And I think it's totally underappreciated. Right? It says here, practice with purpose. But we've all gone there, right? We've all had a practice. Oh, God, I've had a long day at school, 6 o'clock. Oh, we get to the field. You kind of go through the motions. You're okay. Maybe you're the 8th best player at that practice out of 16. It's okay. You've kind of got away with it. It's a waste of time. Get to the practice, however your day's been, and go, okay. We talk about it. Everyone's cross the white line. Bang, you're on. Practice hard. Every time. And I'm telling you, your coaches will see the difference. So stay focused, be seen. We kind of talked about this a bit. Figure out which way you're going to do it. End up with your college visits. And then understanding what it's going to be like when you do go and be in college. All right, so the average day, I mean, Hayden could probably talk about it, but you're in any given day, you're going to do some sort of strength and conditioning. In any given day, you're going to have practice. In any given day, you're going to have some sort of game film, and you're going to have to go to class, and you're going to have to do your homework, and you're going to have to deal with everything else that happens on a college environment. However, I think Hayden will back this up, this is a great life. It's if you play a college sport, it's not just even soccer, right? It's gonna enhance your whole life experience and change your direction in a positive manner and put you in environments that's gonna give you an opportunity to succeed and move on and meet different people and just give you a real high level quality college experience. All right, you can build your brand. You're probably doing this already. Be smart. Be really smart. Okay, you can make some money doing this as well. Okay, but really understand it's your personal brand, good or bad. And what's becoming really significant is what you like or don't like, which is really bizarre, right? Just because you hit like on something, then and it becomes very controversial, then it comes back to you. So be very careful with your social media, but clearly you can build your brand. And then we stand out in the fields. We want you to be mature. You want to give good effort. You want to show leadership and coachability. All right? But you also need to be creative as well. If you're playing in a forward position, you're ultimately going to be judged by goals and assists. So you have to take chances. But go back to Pedro. He has totally changed as a player because his effort is high. To the point he wins our fitness tests. You know, he is always defending well, but he's a very creative player when he gets it. You do these 4 things with some creativity, the coaches are going to notice you. But it's a full-on day. You can't just do this one training session and not the other. Be proactive, know the rules, okay? Understand all the regulations. That's the one thing. What you control is how fit you are, how prepared you are, how mentally tough and resilient you are, and how tactically and technically you keep improving your game. That's on you guys. You do control that. Now, Hayden will tell you what a good opportunity it is to play college soccer, not just at Rollins, wherever. Right? Some of you have got 4 or 5 years to be able to work on that. Some of you are in there last year, and you got to catch up really quickly. All right. So, final advice is yes, it's really achievable, it's enjoyable, and you gain so much out of it, but it's not an easy pathway.